Thank you so much for joining us today. I wanted to sit down with Dave Schmaeling of Proforma Color Press and chat to him a little bit about HR and what's going on in the world. I know everything looks so different since COVID lockdown, and we wanted to touch base and give you guys some pointers about how to help your HR teams and what can really help to get the team on track. So I know Dave has lots of info to share. We want to touch on uniforms and paper supplies and employee retention and award programs and all the things that make your job so much easier and things that as a company Proforma loves to help support you with. So I know, Dave, one of the big challenges at the moment is around culture and trying to get the team on board and engaged and working together effectively. So I've heard various themes about valuing transparency in the workplace, and of course rewarding the team in public and coaching in private, because it's never a great idea to sort of lead with intimidation. That never goes well, especially now. But really making collaboration more of a standard practice, and getting some channels for open communication and feedback from the team at the forefront. So what has been your experience? And of course, core values come into play with all of this. What would you share with anyone in HR?
First of all, any company that doesn't have a culture established already really needs to start in the very basic mode of, yes, I need to reward employees. Yes, I need to acknowledge employees and need to give them some sort of incentives for a job well done. Obviously, there's many different avenues to do for rewards, but that is really the basic. Start a culture, figure out some sort of budget that you could put towards it, and then just start. And then it'll just be a snowball after that. I like to go back to my coaching days where I coached my kids, my daughter, and my son in Little League. And really, you have to praise people in front of everyone, but you also can reward people person to person, so they feel appreciated. They can also share with others in the company, and they're gonna if they get some sort of reward. So make it a good reward and make it personal so that it's not just a one-fit-all type situation, and most of those don't work out very well. So that's a quick answer.
No, that sounds great. And a lot of what it sounds like I'm hearing out there, and both with what you're saying, is just, it's really about getting the group together to work as a team, but really acknowledging what each individual brings to the table so that they feel uniquely valued, not just that the team is doing a great job.
Exactly. It's almost like your baseball team. You're not going to reward your catcher for making that great catch in the outfield. You're going to reward that catcher for blocking every single pitch that gets thrown to him or her. So you got to make it special just for that person. And it's harder to do when you have more employees. So I understand HR people have a tough role to fill in that respect, but that's where someone like me and at Proforma, we can help with ideas on personalization and also gifting, drop shipping and things like that can help give that personal touch to things.
No, that's great. I'm sure it can feel really overwhelming, and having that sort of system in place can make it so much easier. So that's awesome. So obviously we've touched on this a little bit, but when it comes to appreciation and awards and recognition, what have been the sort of lead areas that you've had a lot of discussions on? Like, are there certain things that HR professionals come to you about specifically, or, what are people looking for nowadays?
Well, they're always looking for something new, but I have to use that in the prism of what their company does and how they want to appreciate their employees. So every company is a little bit different. So basically they come to me for year of service or just thank you gifts at the end of the year. But lately I've been seeing things for birthdays and onboarding, especially now with a lot of people moving around. HR people are asking, hey, how can I keep people, and also help bring something to them when they are onboarded. And I'm working on a couple projects right now where it's a box with a number of different items inside. So, um, you know, and a little something to keep them busy or keep them working. But when they first come in, it's almost like the first thing they see from your company as a gift, it should be pretty nice, and not something inexpensive to give them, but something that they're going to value and keep for a while.
Right. So it's really about moving away from the sort of generic sticker model and getting to something that has a little more impact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And what I found is a lot of people are moving away from the quote unquote cheap tchotchke type
Right.
promotional items and going more towards something of a little bit more value and buying less of them, but then making it a little bit more special by packaging it or personalizing it. Really goes a long ways.
I guess it's really about turning the budget on its head and looking at the cost of having to retrain and rehire and replace staff versus
Yeah,
investing in the ones that are there.
yeah. Any person listening to this right now knows that having to retrain someone will take 3 times as much as to keep someone.
Right.
So really the some of these gifts could really pay big dividends. So,
Absolutely. No, the cost of retention is far below what it costs to replace people. So I think
right.
that's really good advice to heed for sure. So, in addition to rotating staff for some people, obviously the world is a crazy place right now, and supply chain is kind of the big ugly duo. What is going on with the supply chain right now?
Good question. The supply chain really basically stopped a while ago and then restarted itself again. And we're starting to move out of it somewhat so that the logjam at the LA Harbor is starting to clear up. So we are seeing some availability on wearable items, but
Perfect.
a lot of the promotional items are still hard to get. Um, and basically people just have to be a little bit more flexible,
Mhm.
not only on the product and the color, but also on the lead time. I made a few calls just today on a supply of 4 different items, and I had to replace 2 of the items, and the other 2 took a little bit longer than what the person wanted them for, but at least we can still get them. So
Right.
basically times used to be a week to 2 weeks, and now they're 3 to 4 weeks. And product availability and color availability is a little sketchy, but still it's there. From a printing standpoint, paper is the big elephant in the room right now.
Right, right.
Is paper is available, but the very basic normal type paper like 20-pound bond, 100-pound cover, those papers are available, but anything other than that is very difficult to get in large quantities. I've seen many different production facilities no bid, or just say you can't do that quantity, you have to do less because we have to share the paper with everybody,
Right.
which is kind of weird, but that's just the way it is right now. Um,
So it's
and
not just toilet paper anymore, is what you're saying.
well, it's
Everything's
all
getting
it's
rationed.
from the mill standpoint. They have changed course in a lot of ways. They've either shut down because of eco-friendly reasons, or they have converted their paper mills to corrugated and are making boxes because the need for boxes are huge, way more than anything else, and they can get a premium for that type of commodity. So the other papers where people like us might need, stationery paper or something other than the normal type paper, even colored paper, you're going to have to wait a long time or plan ahead or just stock it for right now because it's really tough to get. I've even had people print full of flood sheet blue on labels, a sheet of labels
Oh, wow.
in blue so that we could get blue stock.
Wow.
So anyhow,
So
that's
there's a few challenges definitely with getting materials. So I think, what I'm hearing here is you really need to be as flexible and organized as possible. But
yeah,
also it's all about lead time. It's that prevention being, an ounce of prevention is kind of the phrase
right,
of the
right.
day to
And
not have to pay a
that's
premium.
the conversations I have with our customers and prospects are that we try to find out what the yearly supply might be and then help either make a purchase for the year and then release it from our warehouse when they need it,
Right.
or just do something or change their specs to make it a little bit more standard. So it is available.
So
So,
now, in addition to, we've talked about HR programs and loosely about logo wear and what you might need as an HR professional, but
mhm,
you touched on ordering in advance for the year and having it stored at Proforma, which you offer a free service, I understand, for that for
right.
bulk orders, right?
Mhm,
That can be drop shipped later. So I guess the beauty in all of this, apart from being flexible and planning ahead, is really also to join forces with someone who has buying power. So can you talk a little bit
sure.
about that and kind of the options that Proforma brings to the table that people might not know about?
Well, the beauty of Proforma is that we really have unlimited resources. Um, and we have national resources that have worldwide connections for supply and inventory. Um, so we have suppliers that have warehouses all over the United States. Um, Granted, we love to use the local ones, but we can pull from Texas, New Jersey, Minneapolis, wherever this stuff is, we could pull from those suppliers.
Right.
They offer pro forma better than case pricing, um, which is really the lowest cost possible. And we get lower than normal that so that we can pass those savings on to our customers and keep them happy. So we kind of have a little competitive advantage in that respect.
Right.
And we have the same type of programs where we try to talk to our customers and ask them to buy in advance or buy a larger supply to get them through this type of period so that once we get back to normal, we can go back to normal production times. But as it stands right now, it's the same 3 to 4 weeks. So yeah, that's where we are.
Get organized and proactive, people, and then Proforma
Yeah,
can team up with you and try and save you time and money. So
right, right.
that's great. Well, below this little video clip, I know we're going to include a link to your Calendly so anyone watching can link in with you and set up a quick brainstorming session and kind of maybe go over some options that they might not be clear on. But I think, Dave, you said you wanted also to add in the link a couple things. First of all, a redemption site link so people can check
Mhm,
out what the awards, the personalized awards kind of look like, and they can order
mhm.
a spec sample for free there. And
Yep,
also just the spec sample request. If there's something that maybe they don't see on that redemption link or something else that they want to check out, they can fill that out as well.
sure. So the Calendly link is for idea session, and
Mhm.
then the redemption link will go to our website, and you can order a free spec sample. All we ask is you send us an email with your logo, but we're happy to make spec samples all day long for you.
Right. And with that as well, with customization and for logos and that sort of thing, for anyone who hasn't worked with you before, you do a lot of in-house embroidery as well. So that's something that,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah, we're very busy here.
Mhm.
So we'd love to keep busier. So let us know how we can help.
Awesome. 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 Well, thank you so much for your time today, Dave. I know this is going to be super helpful for anybody watching, and we look forward to hearing from anybody who wants to check out a spec sample or learn more about the services we offer.
I look forward to hearing from everyone.
Awesome. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.